Hey coaches, hi, I'm Jason Honstadt, founder of Pro Style Spread Offense, and I can't wait to show you how you can teach zone blocking in less than 10 minutes to pretty much any player at any level. And this is something I just discovered a short while back here, and to give credit where credit's due, I want to make sure that I thank Sam Gooding. He's the offensive line coach at Dakota State University. He's exactly where I got this through an article that I was reading a few weeks back. And it's really an amazing way to teach this, and it simplified things in my mind a lot easier than just the counting method or the covered uncovered method. And it allows you to identify exactly who you need to block and how to get to them through a double team, no matter what defensive front they're in, or even if they're in a defensive front that with a player who's a little bit aligned differently, and maybe you want them to block it differently. But it'll give your offensive line a great framework that they can identify no matter what you throw at them, what they need to do. So let's get started right now. Rule number one. So I've got 5 basic rules, and let's start with rule number 1. The center is going to call the Mike, and he's going to call out him by his number. So let's say Mike is number 54. Sounds like a good middle linebacker number. He's going to say 54 is the Mike, 54 is the Mike. All right, and all the offensive line know that is the 0 point. Okay, now this is different than other counting systems where you count linebackers and linemen. In this system, you are really only identifying the linebackers. So you're identifying the 0 point as that middle linebacker. Now, if there's 3 middle linebackers and there's one right in the middle, you're going to call the middle one the Mike. Okay. However, if there's 2, then it depends on whether it's an even front or an odd front. Okay, so if it's an even front, instruct your center to call the play side linebacker. All right, so if you're running zone to the right, he's going to call the right side linebacker. And how does he know if it's an even front? Basically, he's looking to see, is he covered or uncovered? And if that center is uncovered, it's probably an even front. All right, secondly, if it's an odd front, he's going to call the backside linebacker as the Mike linebacker or the 0 point. Okay, so if the backside linebacker is the 0 point, then the center is probably covered. And that's a good way for the center to know, should I call front side or backside linebacker? How do I know which linebacker to call as the Mike? Well, it's based on their front. So rule number 2, the center is going to take a guard in the combo to the Mike linebacker. All right, this is an ace combo. So if he wants to take the guard to his right side, he's going to call Ram. If he wants to take the guard to his left side, he can call Lion. And you could have different calls for that. But that's rule number 2, is the center takes a guard into the combo, and the offensive line listens, and the guard who's called into that combo should echo the call so the center knows that it's confirmed. Rule number 3, the untaken guard. So if the center called the left side guard into a combo, then the right guard, he's untaken. He's going to take a tackle as a deuce combo, or he's going to go alone solo to the next linebacker outside. So if you've got a 0 linebacker, the next linebacker to his side becomes a +1 or a -1, depending on which side he's on. And you'll understand this here in a minute when I start showing you the pictures. But his basic rule in rule number 3 is untaken guard, so he's not called into a combo. He's going to either take a tackle in a deuce combo to the next linebacker, or he's going to go alone solo, either up to a linebacker or on that next defensive lineman, whoever's the next biggest threat. Rule number 3, tackles. So if you're untaken, you're going to take the tight end if you have one, or you're going to go solo. And again, this just works its way out from center on out, both sides, and it plays itself out very nicely. The last rule is rule number 5, tight end. You're going to go with the tackle in a tray combo, or you're going to call a solo. Okay, so that's the tight end's rule. If you don't have a tight end, you don't have to worry about rule number 5. All you have is 4 rules. Okay, so those are the 5 basic rules. Now let's take a look at this in a sheet here that I have, an offensive line cheat sheet. Let me find this right now. We're going to jump over here to this cheat sheet, and then we'll take a look and we'll walk through it one play at a time. So let's say we have 10 personnel here, or 20 personnel, which means you have one or two backs, and no tight ends. All right, so we'll look at the center and we'll work our way out here. All right, this is against a 3-4 defense, so it is an odd front. That means the center knows he's covered up. He's going to call the 0 point as the backside linebacker that's right here. Okay, so he's going to say 52's the mic right here. He's going to call this linebacker out. Then he's going to call his choice. Would it make sense to call the right guard into a combo back here? Not really. So he's going to call the backside guard into that combo. That would be a lion. So lion, lion. That's an ace combo there. They double to that backside linebacker. Now, uncovered guard or untaken guard. He doesn't have to be uncovered, but the untaken guard, so he's not called into that combo. He can either call a deuce to the next linebacker, who is the +1 linebacker, or he could call a solo and just go right now up to that linebacker. All right. It makes sense, and what I would coach players to do, especially if you want them double teaming as much as possible, to tell them, yeah, call that deuce. We want combos on the line. Unless that tackle's in an outside shade and you know you're not getting to him, call that deuce. So if he's head up or inside, maybe in the gap, call deuce. Okay, now if he's down inside, doesn't make sense to call the tackle into the combo down there. You just got to say solo, solo, you got him. All right, or if, yeah, so that's what I would do. Now the backside tackle, he knows that the backside guard has been called into a combo, so he only has one choice in the matter, and that's to go solo. And if the defender that we are leaving unblocked is anyone in a 4 technique or outside, he's going to leave them alone, and he's going to work inside to, now the 0 linebacker is already taken. He's now going to take the most dangerous man. All right, the most dangerous man, if we have an imaginary box right here, is anyone who is outside the box that might come into the box at the last second. So he's working upside. He can help out with the 0 point linebacker or most dangerous man, whoever shows if this linebacker comes inside. So that's a 3-4. In a 3-5, now we've got a stack look here. All right, now we have a head-up linebacker, so he's the 0 point. The center decides to take the backside guard in an ace, and that makes sense. I would coach him up to do that pretty automatically. It wouldn't make much sense for him to take the play side guard. Take the backside guard up to the 0. Now we have the untaken guard is going to take the tackle to the +1 linebacker, and the untaken tackle, all right, is going to go up to the -1 linebacker. That's a 3-5. All right, now you've got a 4-2 underfront. Underfront means that the line is shifted towards the weak side. All right, so if you're running to the strong side over here and they're shifted away from that, you've got your center. He's going to call, if it's an even front, the linebacker to the play side. So this linebacker right here is the 0 point, and now he's going to take the play side guard with him in a ram combo, ram to this linebacker. Now we have our untaken guard. He's going to take the backside tackle with him to the -1 linebacker, and we'll leave this backside in unblocked. And then the play side tackle has a solo. In a 4-2 over front, what you have right here, again, it's an even front, so the center's going to call this linebacker as a 0 point. He's going to call a lion and take the backside guard with him to the 0. Okay, now the play side guard, he's the untaken guard. He really doesn't have a linebacker. They don't have a +1 linebacker right now to take to anybody. So he's just going to make a solo call. All right, and that's going to tell the play side tackle he's solo also. The backside tackle does not have anyone. He's not taken with the guard, so he's solo also, and his biggest threat is the -1 linebacker. All right, our last two fronts here, 4-3 fronts. These you have a bit of an option. You might have linebackers that now become most dangerous man as you're working combinations to them because they're not in the box. This is a typical spread offense. So center takes a ram to the mic, and the backside guard takes a deuce to the most dangerous man, leaving the backside end uncovered, and the play side tackle is solo on the end. And we're not too worried about this guy. This is a great guy to run an RPO off of right here if you want to do that. Or you could run an RPO off this linebacker right here. 4-3 over front. Now you've got the tackle shaded over into a into a 3 technique. So we've got a lion deuce, okay, to the mic, untaken guard, solo because there's no linebacker to combo to, and the untaken tackle is a solo on the end. And again, we're backside most dangerous man, which could either be the Mike or the backside backer. So very quickly, that's within 10 minutes, coaches. You can teach anyone on the offensive line those 4 simple rules, how to block inside zone against any defensive front. So I want to thank you, Coach, for again checking this out. And what I'd encourage you to do next is take this. I want you to draw it up with tight ends, okay, like I've started to do right here. Okay, so this is 10, 11, or 21 personnel, and draw it up. Okay, I'm going to flash through this really quick, so if you want to reference this, you can. And just kind of pause it and draw it up on your own. Maybe draw it up and then come back and see if you got it right. This is against a 4-2-5 or a 5-2. So you can pause that, take a look at that. And then 4-3 under and 4-3 over. So you can pause that, take a look at that also. The 4-2-5, this looks a lot like a 5-2. All right, coaches, so thanks again for checking that out. And if I can encourage you really quick, if you liked what you saw, I want you to come over to CoachTube, and under Team Offense, you can find a course that I just built called RPOs and Spread Offense Concepts. And this is from the FCS champs, James Madison. And I'm selling it for $5 right now, so it's a heck of a deal. Normally I sell it for $25, but you get a lot of extra coaching strategies, okay, with this course. If you know anything about JMU, you know that they won the national championship in 2017, and they had an incredible offense. They had some great RPO strategies and a great multiple spread offense with just some very excellent plays that they ran that really, when I looked through it, caused me to question some of the ways I was doing things and helped me fix some things in my offense and just added a few plays and tweaked a few things. So what I did is I went in and I broke down their whole offense, and you can take a look here and you can see all of these different plays that they run. And I broke it down just the way I broke down how to block in an inside zone in 10 minutes. I broke down each of these plays right here. There's a couple free plays you can check out. And so you also get that, and you can learn just exactly how they ran their plays and how the strategies help them be effective against any kind of defense that they went up against. And this is against the plays that I drew these up against was against the former #1 team, North Dakota State, who was ranked #1 and has won the national championship multiple years before them. And they were actually able to knock them off. And then they went on and won the national championship game in the game after that. So you'll learn a lot of these great strategies, and plus there's a playbook in there too that will help you just visualize everything the way that they did it, and can be a great addition to your offense. Even if you just get one thing out of it, I think it can be beneficial for you as well. So super special offer, limited time right now, $5. Jump over there. I've got a link right below. You can click on the link and you can go right to it and you can book this course. But I think it might be something, if you liked what you saw and what you learned. It's the same kind of breakdown. I'm breaking things down on a whiteboard in a way that coaches can understand, and that you can install it within your offense so that you can get more points scored and ultimately win more games. So had a lot of coaches, some great feedback so far. Just to show you really quick here, some of the feedback I've gotten so far, and so that's always encouraging to hear. So I'm thankful for that as well. But anyway, CoachTube, if you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, drop me a line, and I'm located at the website prostylespreadoffense.com. Love to hear from coaches and hear how things are going for you. All right, thanks a lot, coaches. Thanks for listening in.